Hello, I'm Chris Meyer with Chester Helping Hands.
And I'm Trisha Paradis with the Springfield Family Center.
We're here with June Lupiani at MKT Grafton, 162 Main Street, Grafton, Vermont. June, how are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice to see you today.
Good to have you here.
So first off, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I live here in Grafton, about a mile away from the store. I'm a mom. My son is active in the business. We're a family-run business. I have a business partner who is also a Vermonter. And we've owned MKT for about 6 years. The store itself, though, is a 200-year-old general store. So it's been around a lot longer than we have, and we're proud to be a part of it.
What got you started in this business?
In the food industry, I grew up in the food industry. My family, I'm lucky to have a family that can help me understand the industry and the ups and downs. So it's been a part of my life for as long as I've been around. Professionally, I got my first kitchen job when I was a kid. So I'm lucky enough to say that I've seen all the different jobs, and I've been a part of all the jobs.
Great. So let me ask you, June, what impact did COVID have on your business?
It had an extraordinary impact on every dimension, really. For my business specifically, I would say that it's really built a better community. I think we shut down, for example, in the beginning of COVID when it was very unknown and still very scary. We shut down for 57 days and we did curbside. And we asked that the community stay safe along with us and stay closer to home. And with that, we really got to know a lot of townspeople and really got to become a closer part of the community than we ever have. And I think that still rings true today.
So when you were asked to participate in the Everyone Eats program, what did you think of that? And has the participation had a positive impact on your business?
Undoubtedly. When I was asked to participate, I said, where can I sign up and how can I become a part of this program as quick as possible? It has helped me retain staff, which is important because as a person who's been in the industry for the better part of her life, I think we need to really focus on chefs and all people within the kitchen and restaurants and keeping them alive. In this program, I really think has not only kept my business alive, which I can say that it has with staff retention and in a whole lot of other ways, but also keeping people stable within the restaurant business. I'm overwhelmingly grateful for this program. My employees, they're proud. They were proud to be a part of this. When I explained how farmers were involved and the importance of us going local, that increased the pride and to being a Vermonter is an important title, I think, and for my staff and for myself to be able to see how this program was really going back into the hands of Vermonters was huge, and not to neglect to also mention how we were able to feed hungry people as well. That's beautiful. I think with the COVID and what it brought about was we recognized that people are hungry, and to be able to directly have an impact on that was a beautiful thing.
So have you discovered any new Vermont ingredients that you haven't previously used in your meals here?
Sure. I think it's not necessarily an ingredient, Trish, per se, but more that we have discovered food service, Vermont products that we have recognized were always in retail packages that as a restaurant was real helpful for us. So examples would be trims and ends from Grafton Village cheese, which come in a 40-pound versus what we usually get in an either 8 or 4 ounce increment to sell retail. So it really opened our eyes with the work of Food Connects and Beth there at Food Connects saying, here's what you can get in food service packages in much larger quantities because you're feeding hundreds of people versus selling the product to one person.
What is your perception of food insecurity in Vermont?
I think that it's everywhere and it's a much bigger issue than oftentimes people recognize. I think that, here in Vermont, every 7 miles or so, there's a beautiful little small town with some lovely homes and white picket fences, and each one is a little prettier than the next. I think Grafton's personally my favorite. But within those communities, I think when we recognize, we begin to open our eyes to food insecurity, and we go into the schools and we pay attention to what's happening off the main street. We see that food insecurity is all around us. If you imagine yourself and you put yourself in the feet of, say, a young family or a single mom with children, the difficulty. You know, I've lived in cities, I've lived in urban areas where it's a little easier, and I'm not saying it's at all easier, but a little easier to walk into a food bank and get a box of food. But when you're in a community and you don't have a vehicle or a reliable vehicle, and you have young kids at home and you're not capable of leaving, how are those people getting food? How are they getting their health care? How are they getting their needs met? And I think having people like Mary and having hubs like the Grafton Community Church, it's vital in helping health disparity and keeping people healthy beyond just COVID.
Absolutely. This program also delivered dignity.
Yeah, that's well put, Chris.
Do you feel that restaurants have roles in an emergency response?
I believe we have an obligation. I've seen it on smaller scales, power outages. It's organizations like yours that help get those funds that are here to be down into the hands of the people that are here. So in an immediate situation, I do see our obligation. But when it comes to something that's suddenly not a 2-week thing, not a 2-month thing, but a 2-year and likely beyond thing, that's where I look to experts like yourself to help us along.
Do you feel that the restaurant resources are or have been well utilized in circumstances like this?
Not without you. I think, again, I mean, it really goes back to the for-profit getting in contact or being contacted, better yet, by the not-for-profit, by the people who are at, the Montpelier level talking about grant money and the applying for grants, getting funding, and then allocating funds.
Are you glad that you participated in this program?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, glad from a professional level, glad that my front door, I can hear the screen door slam. Glad that I not only was able to retain the staff that I had, but actually create jobs. I created jobs for people within this community because of because of the Everyone Eats program. For myself, I feel humbled and I feel like a deeper part of my community. Oftentimes when we run a business, the importance of business gets in the way of paying attention to those more meaningful relationships. So without a doubt, I'm so overwhelmingly happy to be a part of the program. Thank you.
And we certainly appreciated your participation. We're here with June Lupiani at MKT Grafton, 162 Main Street in Grafton, Vermont. June, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Trish.